Look, hold on. We need our Instagram fans.
Are you?
Alrighty then. Salamander.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Throw It Out There Thursday, and you know what time it is, brother. It's July, and we are going to be talking about any questions that you guys have. You got questions, we got answers. Let's go to the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Smith.
I don't think I can do this, Steve. You're going to make me laugh the whole time. I'm not going to be able to say one.
Be serious, Justin.
You are so sexy.
What are you talking about, Justin?
I have no, I don't know, but it's amazing. It feels really good from over here.
Yep. You're welcome.
So, hey guys, we have a special guest, Tube Sock Steve. He's pretty much badass, kind of runs a comedy department around Shock Therapy, and we thought we'd bring him in because we've got 4th of July.
It's 4th of July.
We're celebrating the 4th this weekend, you guys, and there's no better way than to have Steve around here in a Uncle Sam outfit.
We got something special coming for 4th of July, so you guys just wait for that, okay?
So what he means is there might be a little bit of a promotion on the day of the 4th of July. So we're not going to tell you about it in advance. It'll just happen like, I don't know, midnight or 12 a.m. on the 4th.
4th of July?
It's a KIP thing. You need some sparklers right now, Steve. I think that is a great idea. Too bad we don't have
Too
any.
bad we don't got any of those.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Thanks, Chase. Way to go, Chase.
Don't worry. All I like is snakes and sparklers. I will get you some.
Okay.
So today's feed, like Steve had said, we're gonna, number one, it's Throw It Out There Thursday. So all your questions are game. Throw them out there. We're gonna answer those. But in the meantime, we're kind of use the time to discuss maybe the most important questions that you should ask when you're going out to buy a UTV, or maybe the most important questions that you should ask when you're talking to us about work or accessories. And we're kind of share with you what we get from customers all the time, and kind of maybe answer them for you before you even ask that stuff.
And don't forget, anybody who goes live with us on Instagram is going to get a shirt.
Is it a 4th of July? Could it be an Uncle Sam thing? Or possibly will we give him some Uncle Sam Speedos?
I'll get you something special. That's for sure.
I think whenever Steve's involved, there's something special. I guarantee that.
Something special.
All right, so how about this? You're going to the dealership and you want to buy a car, but you don't know what you're going to buy. You're like, I think I want a big turbo car, a wide car, a narrow car. Not really sure. Then maybe the first question you should be asking somebody when you're buying a car should be, what is your intended use? Are you going to go to the dunes all the time? You're going to be in a trail? Are you going to be, mountains? You're going to be in the mud? You're going to be in the desert? You need to decide in advance what your use is going to be and maybe a percentage. Because you could tell them, hey, I'm going to be like 20% in the dunes and 80% desert. Well, they might recommend a different car for you. So you probably get that a lot too. Steve does most of the check-ins here at the shop, so when customers come in and drop off, he hears a ton of their questions.
Yeah.
What are some of the common ones that they're asking you when they're dropping? They're already here. They're going to do some stuff, but they still have a ton of questions.
So a lot of the common ones that I get is safety-wise, safety features. What more should I do to my vehicle to make it safer? Cages, harnesses, seats, anything like that. They always ask to prioritize that and what stage you should do it in. I think we both agree. I mean, you should start in stages. Start off with
safety first.
Safety first. I mean, safety comes number one with us, especially here with the company. Always number one when we're getting cars and we're going out and testing. So safety is number one. So we're talking harnesses and seats, and then always do a cage, because that chromoly cage that you get aftermarket is going to be a lot better than what you get from the factory. Now, the factory one is tested through the government and everything. It's got to go through all the stages of that, but going with the chromoly cage is definitely going to get you better off.
I would highly agree with you on all that stuff. Before you even throw horsepower at a car, you should have it safe. Everybody's going to want to have the bling and the power, and then they might come back to things like belts later. Not a good idea. Try and turn that around backwards in your head. Throw belts in it, cage in it like Steve said. And then we would always suggest that you do suspension before power, or at least at the same time, because we've actually done tests in the whoops up the hill, and we've taken stock suspension cars with a flash, and stock cars, stock flash with suspension through the whoops, and we've always found that a suspension car that actually works really well is 2 to 3 car lengths faster than a car that doesn't work really well with a ton of power. So just a good thing to think about. Get the thing situated and working perfect before you throw a lot of power at it. Make sure you have safety. What have you got? You have a question, right, Darren?
Yeah, I have one question. IQS versus Smart Shocks.
So the Smart Shocks that are on the new X3 that's been released is exactly like, well, it's not exactly, but it's very similar to like a Dynamics system in a Polaris. The new system that's on the Can-Am is actually smarter, and it uses more inputs, more sensors, and it will control rebound. So that is a better system at the moment than a Polaris Dynamics smart system is. IQS does not take inputs from sensors and modify the shock as you're driving it. IQS modifies the shock as you press a button and tell it what to do. So IQS, full disclosure, it's probably not as cool as a computer modified system, but it's better in a lot of ways because you can actually tell it what to do when you want it to do it, as opposed to letting the computer do what it thinks is right for you. So I would suggest when people are buying a new car that they buy a live valve system or a smart shock system if they can afford the extra option.
100%.
In dollars. The car rides better, it's better all the way around. But if you do not have that car, then we have an IQS option for you to make it smart or make it work for you. Chase.
Correct.
Speaking of C-Mill9, when do we think we'll see the 2021 X3s at the dealerships? As well as I got Steve-O 714 specifically saying, how the hell do you
Hey,
boys?
Steve-O, he's
Going
on
on,
every
brother?
single feed.
Yeah,
Thanks,
every time, man. Thanks for tuning in.
So that is a hotly contested question. We talked with Can-Am, and they are promising that they're going to have units available in August. Truthfully, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it because, all the big factories like Fox and everybody else that supplies components for those cars have been shut down for COVID, and so have the facilities that Can-Am and Polaris have for production. So they might say one thing. I really do think it's going to be a month or two later. I don't think we're going to see a lot of options or many units in the dealerships until October or November. Just my opinion, though. So roll with it. There you go, Darren.
All right, Brian 44K, what is the best shock for sale?
Shock for sale?
Shock for sale.
And he added a to that.
Best.
So I don't know. Are you teeing me up to say something that'll piss somebody off? I'm not sure, but I'll lay it out like this. When it comes to aftermarket shocks you can buy off the shelf, I think that Fox makes the best, most quality shock made. I think they have the highest quality coatings, hard anodizing, better machine quality in most components, and higher longevity in cycle time than anything that's available right now. Now, when it comes to what's available on a UTV, there's a reason why, say, a Walker car is less expensive than a Fox car because of the effort put into the shock. I still think that Walkers work great, and they're tunable, and they are an awesome shock to have on a UTV. So if you're going to push it hard and you want the most adjustability and the longest life, there's no question that the components get better when you start getting into a Fox. Elkas are nice. There's rad flows and a bunch of other things you can buy. Honestly, they just don't have the engineering capacity to keep up with the big stuff that, say, Fox is putting out.
Judging off of looks, people, we're going with Fox. Come on, Walker.
You know what's amazing? Even though Chase sounded slightly, special, maybe, he doesn't look that special today. He actually
looks professional.
Looks fairly professional.
Like,
I have
dang.
no idea what is going on.
Holy mackerel!
No idea what got into you today.
Upgraded to the medium.
Yeah, it looks like a schmedium for sure.
How about another good question that people should know before they show up here or at a dealership?
Another good question. Oh, man.
What a lot of people ask is what the first accessory is they should
First
use, but we say
accessory,
safety.
yeah. Safety to me is the first
Okay.
accessory in general, or the first aftermarket thing you should put on your vehicle for sure.
What options should I get? That's what a big amount is like. What do you think I should buy on my car? I mean, and a lot of people are thinking like stereo or intercoms or GPSs, but what do you see the most of?
Belts. Extra parts like that, belts, axles, stuff like that. Depending on what you're doing, it's all going to depend on what type of riding you do too. Dunes-wise, you're not going to want a spare tire. You're not going to want an extra tire accessory in that way.
Probably not bringing an axle.
Yeah, you're not going to be bringing
Back
all
to
that.
camp.
You're going back to camp at that point. So it all just depends on the style of riding you're going to be doing, and then that would be depending on the extra accessories you're going to want to buy.
Yeah, what do you got, Darren?
Baja Mike 7. If I was to start racing, do you get a fully loaded car or go baseline and build?
If you're going to go racing and build a race car out of it, buy the base car, but you want to have the suspension that you're going to run. So you don't buy a narrow car and convert it to width. I would buy a wider car and use that and build from there. You don't need like fully optioned out dashes and electronics and stereos and things like that that come with the high option cars for any of the racing. So buy base and work up.
Speaking of questions that never stop getting thrown out there, wheel offset.
Is Chase gay? That's pretty much the biggest question we ever get. So,
For sure.
I'm not sure that we're going to answer.
I question it all the time. I question it all the time.
I will always keep you boys guessing.
Oh yeah, let me touch
Stop
tip.
it.
Touch tip.
Wheel offset affects steering feedback. Do wheel spacers count? These wheel offsets.
Yeah, wheel spacers are the same thing as a crappy wheel offset. If you put a spacer on there that's an inch wide, that's the same as getting a wheel offset that's an inch too wide as well. So 100% equal and exactly the same when it comes to negatives. Do not run wheel spacers. Most people run a wheel spacer because they want to widen the car and they think it's going to be more stable. It is not. When you put a wheel spacer on there and make the car wider, yeah, it's wider, but you've added leverage to the shock. That extra width makes the shock feel soft. So you don't get more support in the corner from a body roll standpoint or anything else with a wheel spacer. It's an absolute zero-sum game. You're adding width, getting no stability at all, and making the steering feel like crap. So just don't do wheel spacers. What do you got?
Chaser UAE, where do you mount a Siren on your Can-Am X3 or XP Pro?
I would mount it facing forward because you don't want to blast yourself in the face when you mount it facing backward. Just saying.
Never want to blast yourself in the face, ever.
Jason know a lot about that. So back to seriously on the Siren thing, the rules actually tell you have to mount it at the front of the car going forward, and we always mount them near the front bumper, just inside. So if you hit somebody real nice, give them a love tap, you don't lose the horn. So mount it in the front facing forward. Loudest horn you can buy, and it still isn't enough. Which is also fun because they don't hear the horn, you get to hit them.
Yep. Exactly.
Just saying.
Nice little love tap.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting them, I think your socks are hitting it today.
Thanks,
I think
man.
They really are. But I got a question for you. I was wondering if you actually had calves underneath those.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I mean, do you work out, or can we see your calf?
Oh, yeah. So no one ever gets to see this. No one ever gets to see this, but I will give you guys a sneak peek on what these calves look like.
Holy cow.
Hey, dude, you actually have a calf.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my God, that's
wow.
So the world wants to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What else you guys got for questions before I shoot down the rest of our list?
Greg Flores, do you need to do anything to a Ride Command computer without RIS install?
No, absolutely nothing. So our internal work, RIS, is not going to affect any of the computer functions whatsoever. It's just going to ride better, and all of the options that you have on a Ride Command still function with a better riding system. That simple.
I got another one from RJ Burke. What are your opinions on portals going on a Talon for reference?
So here's the deal with portals. Portals are amazing for giving you ride height and ground clearance if that's where you drive, big rocks, mud, stuff like that. Then they're awesome. The negatives are it's going to give you bad steering wheel feedback. It's going to give a lot of load to the front components, joints, ball joints, pivot points on the chassis, arm tabs. All of those things take a lot of load. Steering wheel feedback is nasty. You're going to have a lot of that, and you're not going to be able to drive the car as fast. I mean, 30, 40 miles an hour, it might be a little bit sketchy and a lot of feedback. So if you're going to go slow and you need ground clearance, portals are awesome. But if you're going to use the car hard like we do on the West Coast, not a good idea.
I got Marv Evans asking to go live with us. I'm going to send out a request here. We'll see.
Marv, are you a 4th of July Steve fan? Because I'm thinking, we got to name him. I think it's Uncle Steve, Uncle
Steve.
Sam.
Yes, Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve.
Yeah,
Steve.
Tube Sock Sam.
I will sing the national anthem. You guys stop it.
Don't make me
Don't
do it.
make me do it, guys.
I do have one other question on the list of things you guys should talk about, and that is warranties. So when you're looking at buying a car, you need to talk to the dealership about what you get for warranties. They do have extended warranties that cost money. Dealerships are going to get pissed off at me for telling you this. Don't let me forget.
Mr. ASAF, what's going on, man? Back on again.
That's what's up.
Seem to
That's
be
okay.
Watching our feeds
How are
every
you?
time here. How are you doing?
Every time. Keeping busy.
I'm learning a lot from all that sketching behind you, so thank you for that.
Anytime.
I had a question about mounting 30-inch tires, 10-inch wide, on the stock XP1K rims, which are different sizes.
Can
I do that?
About doing that, whether it's good or bad?
I want to know if it's possible for one, and if it's actually going to create some problems because of the different width of the rims.
No, you can absolutely do it. We've seen people do that. There's no negative to it. When you blow that tire out on a 10-inch wheel, it might be a little bit round, which, or I should say square, flat on top and a wide sidewall. I mean, in like desert racing, then you're exposing the sidewall to a rock by blowing it out. That's why we run a narrow wheel in racing, to try and save the sidewall on the wheel. That's a negative. Other than that, there really isn't one. I think you can go ahead and do that all day. The only thing we've seen about stock wheels is, unless you run a lot of tire pressure when you go through rocks, and it's easy to break a stock wheel on the inside bead. So other than that, you can go for it, man. 30-incher on a 10, absolutely.
Thank you very much. And Chase, I'm sorry for bothering you in the DMs. I just didn't know what's the procedure about the t-shirt. So thank you guys. I love the show. Keep it up.
Right on.
Didn't bother me whatsoever. Hey,
Don't ever apologize to Chase.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't ever apologize.
He doesn't deserve it.
No.
speaking of, send me another direct message. We're going to get you another shirt out today.
That's okay. Thanks.
I already have too many
He's
shirts.
like, yeah, no, thanks, I'm good.
That or Chase has never sent him a shirt.
That's possible.
Which is more likely the case. He's never actually sent him. He is on our feet all the time, and you've totally blown him off.
First off, I have not blown off anyone.
Chase has definitely blown up quite a few people.
Darren, you got any good questions, buddy?
William Michael Duck, when will the Carrick spring kits be available? Hashtag no chase.
All right, hashtag no chase. Spring kits for the Carricks are about 30 days out, maybe more like 3 weeks. We are doing those spring kits in-house. If you set up an appointment and drop your shocks off, or mail them in, or drop off your car, we'll do a spring kit for you. The reason that we don't sell them on the site so you can have them mailed and you put them on is because right now we have to hand machine lower perches, dividers, a whole bunch of components and adapters to make the spring kit work. We have custom springs coming. When they come in, then it's going to be a bolt-on kit. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be easier. You just have to be patient with us. All the development is done. 3 or 4 weeks.
Stevo714, if I wanted to get my ride height back, can I get you guys to do it in Glamis Halloween? What's the process? Is it like the previous years, first come, first serve?
Oh man, so here's the thing. We try not to do ride height adjustments out there. The reason is that we're booked with the full jobs, and to do ride heights, we need to have the car on the concrete slab to measure it properly. We have very limited room on the slab, and we do all of our booked appointments in advance, so you would be last at the day if we can get to it. I would seriously recommend that you do your ride heights yourself at home. It's very easy. If you watch the spring installation video, it'll show you, and it's not that hard. It might take you an hour or 2 max. Try to do that at home, and try not to come out to the dunes to do it, because we always look like an ass when we promise that we're going to do everything, and then the day is already over with all the jobs we booked and we can't get to you. Yeah. We don't want to do that, and so try to do it at home if you can.
Gustavo Moreno, ride height for an X3 Max with 32-inch tires. I'm running stock rims. Good, or get other ones? Steve, this is on you.
What
Ride height?
with the ride height? 16 and a half, 32, 16 and a half, 16. You could go with 17 if you need to, but 16 and a half range.
And then
What was the
stock
second
wheels
question?
or not good stock wheels?
Stock wheels or better ones?
I'll take this one over.
Yeah, you take that
Okay,
one.
so stock wheels are great from an offset standpoint. It's going to drive awesome. The only thing with a stock wheel is they're not as strong as a lot of the aftermarket wheels. So if you're going to run the car hard through whoops and, you know, at speed or rocks, you can break a stock wheel pretty easy, and you need an aftermarket wheel. We recommend Method. They have a ton of options for you. Talk to Stephen Bell over there, and he'll get you the right offset.
HBK, how much nitrogen PSI do you put in your shock, Steve? You got 5 seconds.
200! Bam! Just like that, sir.
All right, we got some.
All right, back to warranties. You were going to remind me not to forget that. So I was about to say something juicy that's going to piss off all of the dealerships. Ready? The factory warranty is pretty good. Aftermarket warranties cost money. There's a lot of differences in aftermarket warranties. Most of the aftermarket warranty. Are you trying to stop me again?
I am, because we got a live viewer. What?
Everyone's gonna wonder it's big. Yeah, like we're building this up on purpose. It's changed.
It's really nothing, but yeah.
What's going on, man? Where you at? What you driving? And what is your question?
Down in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, not driving anything right now. But my question is, for when the Speed UTV does come out and you get it, what are you planning on building for it?
So as far as components are concerned, we can't plan on anything until we see the car, test it, and find out if there are any weak links. I honestly doubt that there will be weak links with the way they've designed the car. Now, once we drive it, we'll find out what maybe some customers would prefer it to do for them versus the way the car is designed to work and it currently rides. There's always special circumstances. If that car rides amazing and we would not touch it, we're going to have customers that drive really slow in trails and want us to make it more plush. We're going to have customers that want to go racing and they're going to want it stiffer. So we're going to have options for all those people. I can't tell you about components until we get into that car and run it. I will tell you this, and I've said it before, I think they're doing a great job designing that car. And I don't want Robbie calling me late at night mad at me for something to say. He does that all the time. But yeah. I'm not kidding. But he and I do talk quite a bit, and I do have the ultimate respect for the way that they're going about the design of that car, and I think it's awesome.
Okay.
All right, man.
I'll be looking for that.
Shirt size and color, so that way Chase can screw it up and not send it to you.
All right.
What do you got, Tony? Nothing? You good? How about you, Darren?
All right.
Justin.
Warranty.
Warranty.
Okay, warranty. So,
What's your question, D-Rain?
all right. Dealers have aftermarket warranties. These things cost money. The dealerships love to sell those, and no problem to them. They need to because they're not making any money on the car. The problem with aftermarket warranties is you just do not know how that company is going to deal with you or handle them, and they do try to get out of paying for anything as much as they possibly can. We've seen it. You know, they'll blame an engine failure on the fact that you changed the tires. So be careful and research the companies that are offering aftermarket warranties before you buy one. You know, maybe ask the guys at the dealership what their personal experience has been with warranties with those companies. They probably have 2 or 3 different options you can choose from. We would suggest you look into that. That's all. That was my juicy warranty stuff. Sweet. Probably going to get calls from all the dealerships right now.
We got Marv. We got Marv on the line. Marv, where are you at? What are you driving? And what's your question? And what do you think of Steve's ensemble?
He is so magnificent. Love you, Steve.
Wow. Yes.
Hey.
Magnificent. Thank you. Magnificent.
Yeah, I'm in St. George, Utah, which is off-road Disneyland. Love it.
Yeah.
And I am in my garage right now, and I drive an XP4 1000, just got a 2019, after we put 11,400 miles on our 2015.
Wow, that's a lot of miles. You must drive every day.
No, not every day. A lot of that was just weekends. But now we're
That's a
on
long weekend.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's easy to do a 150-mile day here, so it's great.
Good for you.
So anyway, my question, I just installed your spring kit on my Walker Evans. They're sitting here on my bench right now, and I will be putting them back on the car here in a few minutes. Where should I start with the rebound clickers?
So walkers don't have rebound clickers.
I mean, sorry, the compression clickers.
Okay, I thought that was a technical question. You were trying to stop me. Sorry.
Oh,
No rebound.
I should have.
Right. So you should try it. Go for it. We'll send you a prize. On the compression adjustment, we tell people 2 things. 1, start all the way soft and work your way up. What we mean by that is the most plush ride you're going to get is all the way soft. And if you drive the car like that and you find through the terrain you drive, the speed you drive, that maybe you can bottom the front out really easy and you feel it go bam, then turn the front clicker in 2 clicks at a time until it stops bottoming out. In the rear, the same thing. If you can bottom the rear out a little easy, then turn it 2 clicks stiffer at a time until it stops bottoming out. we want you to do that until it gets to a point where you can drive all day long and probably not bottom the car, or maybe only bottom it once. The reason for that is we want you to have the most plush ride quality possible for the driving style that you have in the terrain that you have. If you just crank them all the way up and start where we might say, hey, try 8 clicks in the front and 4 in the back, you might have it stiffer than you need it to be, and you're sacrificing a plush ride that you could have. So that's my suggestion. Start all the way soft and work your way up. That work?
That works. That's exactly what I thought. Just wanted to make sure, and I'll go for a ride tomorrow morning and start from there.
Let us know how you like it. We know you're going to love that spring kit. It works great. But also, how about a shirt size and a color so that Chase can mess up the shipping?
I intend to and I just want to say that Mike was awesome when I called in with questions just before I ordered. So thumbs up to Mike. And I talked with Stephanie a long time ago about I was having problems with breaking bolts in my shock therapy sway bar, which I do have on the car. I moved
At
it
the
over.
frame mounts or something like that.
Yeah, what it turned out to be was the shocks just weren't working. They needed to be rebuilt. And
Gotcha.
it was binding so much that it was breaking grade 8 bolts.
Thanks for mentioning Mike. I'm going to go tell him that you said so. He's really going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we worked out the hardware issue eventually. Just had to get into the shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks. I have learned so much from this series. I hope you will continue on with it. I am geeking out on all the suspension design and even listening to an engineer.
I wouldn't call me an engineer.
Oh.
I would. But thank you very much for tuning in. Do us a favor, man. Give us some suggestions on stuff to do. I mean, today we're just talking about questions on buying cars. We could be talking about what you would suggest. So send us your ideas, and we'll touch upon it because we're running out of our own.
I will do it because I've been riding quite a while now, and I've got some ideas.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Whoa, whoa, whoa here. Thomas, in defense of Chase, he sent me 2 shirts already. LOL, hashtag no Chase.
So he actually did send it. I don't believe it. I think Chase DM'd him and said, man,
He's like,
please save my job. What do you got there?
Poor Dirt Media. I still don't have a shirt from Chase.
Oh,
What the hell?
So busted.
Hey,
See how that works?
to tell you guys the truth, that is a very good friend of mine, Ricky. He's shooting photos with him this weekend. He has not tuned in live to any of our feeds in person yet. You have to tune in live to get a shirt.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know that on the weekends, you know, if you guys don't follow Tupac Steve, he's really into Harleys, and he's got a couple himself. He's built them a lot.
Sorry,
I just have a question before you go live.
Hold on. Before he even says
you go
anything,
live.
this is going to be a windshield joke.
I was wondering, hey, so how do you like riding bikes with windshields? Is that
Oh,
really
my
cool?
God. I hate all of you guys over there.
Hold on, you guys. We got another live one here. What's going on, man? Where are you at? What's your driving and what's your question?
What's up? Right here from California. I drive this 17 Turbo XP4 with, you know, the best of the best.
Got some RIS on there.
Oh, he's
All right.
Oh, okay. I
Yep.
can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's been sitting for a while, but I need to take it out.
Jay says it's a badass ride, so we'll go with that. We
Take his
can't
word
see
for
it.
it.
Sorry.
He's got our dual rate springs on there, a rear sway bar. He's got RIS. Hey, man, how's that thing driving so far? Would you say over time, what is your overall opinion?
Well, compared to stock and compared to how it is now, it's a night and day difference. Like
And that's what we want to hear.
It was like, I don't know. I got Fox. The Turbo 17s all come Fox, right? But
yep,
it ran like crap, to be honest. On a stock.
You never know how good they can be until you try it.
Exactly. And I got this, and it worked it up completely. The only question I guess I have is, if I were to go long travel, would I need to send the shocks back to get it redone or something?
Great question. We get that a lot. So depending on the long travel, if you're going to do a kit that keeps the shock mount in the stock position, typically, then you're not going to have to send the shock to us. We just have to send you a pair of springs, maybe 2 pairs of springs, depending on the long travel kit. So let us know which one you buy, and we can look up your previous package on our invoicing, and we'll send you the upper spring package that you might need for that, and that's about it.
Only upper springs for the front required?
Typically, yeah. Usually an upper spring and maybe an upper in the rear, and that's just going to be accounting for the extra leverage. But overall, you're not going to have to change valve.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Easy, man. It's a lot cheaper than you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, send us, let us know what you have for a shirt color and a size, and we'll see if actually Chase.
I will make sure it goes out. How about that?
Okay. Hopefully it comes through then. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Steve, so I've got another question for you.
Well, I've got a question for you, Justin. You go ahead first.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you prefer the 60 bar in the front of yourself or behind you?
Rhetorical question, Justin.
I'm guessing his answer is yes.
Yes, that's just the answer is yes. Yes.
What other interesting questions could we tell people that they should ask? Where do you buy the Uncle Sam outfit?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I have Chase do all my wardrobe shopping.
This is very true.
Check the Speedo.
Do you?
That's mine.
You guys were talking about offsets. There's your offset.
We got Tom Ames going live with us. He actually sent us a message here to go live. Tom, it's just a little feature. Usually it's in the messages there at the very top of the screen. It should allow you to go next time. So I selected you. What's going on, man? Where are you at? What you driving? And is your question?
I'm in Wichita, Kansas, driving a brand new Pro XP Ultimate. And my question for you is, how long until the new springs take a set and I should readjust my ride height, or better yet, replace the springs with yours?
So usually the stock springs will start settling or sagging around 400 or 500 miles. They'll do it progressively from that point forward. They'll kind of consistently lower over time and over mileage. So once you start adjusting them, you're probably not going to stop. You're going to adjust them again at 200 more miles and another 300 more miles and 400 more miles as you go, and they just won't stop settling. So I think when you're basically, the answer is you buy a spring kit as soon as you can once you've seen it settle, because it'll stop you from having to adjust it much after that.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling in for Kansas, and shirt size and a color. And we'll
do.
Case can throw other goodies in the box if he remembers.
Thanks.
All right, take it easy.
Well, back to Steve's motorcycle.
Hey, Steve. So, what modular helmet would you suggest buying for your best friends?
Oh, boy.
I know how you like those a lot.
Oh, modular helmets are my favorite, especially the ones that have the the Top Gun drop down on the eyes. Those are pretty sweet.
What's your favorite tattoo? I know you have a lot of those.
Probably.
Is there anyone that you could show us?
Well, so there's quite a few. Now, I do have one that is misspelled, which is probably where you're going.
No, not at all.
Okay, so my
I just
cousin.
want your favorite.
My favorite's gonna be my knuckles, but my cousin. Oh, sorry, my knuckles. Hard work.
Whoa. Hold on thought. We got the legend on stream right now. Haley, what's going on, girl? We already know where you're at. We already know what you're driving. You got another question for us today? You better not be throwing out what everyone wants. She's the one who asked us the awesome question last time on what was coming out. Yes.
Or the turbo car.
The turbo car.
The turbo car, and our dad's barely got a good car.
Yes.
Dad's got
What's going on, Haley?
I just wanted to say thank you for everything you guys sent me. I was so excited. After soccer practice, I saw my dad send me, and I was like,
after soccer practice.
Hey, hold on, Haley. This is absolutely perfect. Haley, you were promised one shirt. How many shirts did Chase send you?
what did you guys send me?
No, yeah, you were promised one shirt. How many shirts did Chase send you?
I think I got 6 or 7 tank tops. I got my little sister. I got a hat. I got
He's taking this way too far, and I'm not sure that I like it at all.
Holy crap.
Haley.
So he sent you all the other people's shirts.
That's why no one got shirts.
That's why no one got shirts, because she got all of them.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Good job.
Haley, you're my hero. That was just my little extra bonus in there for asking such a juicy question. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Haley, we really look forward to you driving cars hardcore. And we were all talking about your questions after that last feed that you did it in. So thanks for signing it.
Yeah.
I will say it's going to be scary. One day it might be Haley versus Haley. Haley Deegan versus you.
Or Sarah Price or Kristen Matlock. You might be showing them what's up.
Hey, Haley. You didn't have a question. Send me your information. I'm sending you another 6 shirts.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
There's 2 ways you could play this game, boys.
Tattoos.
Okay,
So knuckles.
Knuckles are my favorite, but I do have one tattoo, and I'll do this quick. So my cousin was killed in Afghanistan, so I got a tattoo of him. And I didn't want to get rest in peace, anything like that, but I wanted to get forever grateful because I was grateful for the sacrifice he made. But when I wrote grateful, I was thinking GREATFUL because he was such a great person, not realizing it's GRATEFUL, like the Grateful Dead. So I forever have a misspelled tattoo on my arm, and it just makes for a good story. But I was 18 and stupid, and my tattoo artist stopped me before he tattooed it. And he said, "Are you sure that's spelled right?" And I said, "I'm not an idiot. Of course it's spelled right." And he tattooed it, and now I forever have a misspelled tattoo on my arm. Everything else is spelled correctly, though.
That's a good story, man. I don't think
It's
anybody
great.
can talk any smack about
No,
misspelling that.
it was pretty
Otherwise,
awesome.
they're the ass.
Correct.
What do you got, Darren?
What's your thoughts on the new smart lock system from Can-Am, and is the Polaris system better?
I'm sorry, man. I can't answer your question with any important opinions. And the reason is that I have not tested both of them personally, so I can't answer that question for you.
We got Dylan Jones live. Where are you at, Dylan? What is your question, and what are you driving? I think I might have lost him.
That was a hell of an intro you gave him
I
for
know.
not even being on the feed.
Well, he was on the feed, but he was driving while he.
What are you giving you tabs?
Everyone's giving me
I'm sorry,
tabs, but no regrets.
No regrets.
Justin, I have a question for you.
Yeah, shoot. Let's hear it.
What was your first dinosaur?
Oh, because I was alive back then?
Yeah.
You know what's really nasty? Is when they take a piss on you. I know exactly what that's like. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
How long have you stopped, has it been since you stopped eating Tide Pods?
Gen
Hey.
Z. I'm a millennial. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Hey.
Gen Z.
We got a live one here. Mr. Jenkins, what's going on, brother? Where are you at? What are you driving? And what's your question?
Well, cheers to y'all first off. And
Thank you.
kind of a quick question, more or less, I guess, an insight. Do you guys recommend the Turbo S over the Turbo S Velocity? Is the cost like effective? Is it there for a reason, and why?
On Turbo S's, I would honestly do either a Velocity or I do the live valve car with a Fox. Those are the two that I would suggest for you. The Velocity works better than the previous walkers by a long shot. I know Steve loves working on those much better. They're built better.
Oh, yeah.
The adjustability also, you got high and low speed on that too.
Yep.
So I would say a Velocity car or a live valve car. And of those two, I would prefer the live valve car if you can afford it. It's worth the extra $5,000 they get for that car. The shocks are going to last longer and they're going to work better. And we can also modify those to be amazing. We can also modify the walkers and make them a ton better too.
I was just looking at the Velocity because I was like, I could save that extra money and buy you guys' aftermarket shock stuff, and figured that would be a better way around, better route, I guess you could say.
Well, I mean, it's going to be better than the earlier walker for sure. And it's just, so let me put it this way. If we completely work that Velocity to be the best it can be, I don't think that it's much better than a Dynamics is stock. But a Dynamics, when we work it, is amazing. So that should be the comparison you should make. You know, our work on a walker is going to get you a hair better than a Dynamic stock, and then our work on a Dynamics is going to be stellar.
So what would you say would be the first thing that I should do if I did go with the Velocity? What would be the first upgrade I should do then?
I think you should do seat belts, seats, and a cage, and immediately go to a spring kit to control the extra weight you've added to it and stabilize the car. But safety first, and then after that, start throwing shock stuff on it, and then after that, start throwing horsepower in it.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate it.
In that order. Right on. Shirt size, color, Chase, might help you.
Might, yeah, maybe.
Thanks, man.
Ali09 here. I'm going to leave this one up for you boys this side. It says, Justin has to be the coolest or the oldest boss. Which one do you think he said, Justin?
Both.
Yes. And I would believe it was.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of old, the old folks home does have a curfew, so we should probably wrap
Cut this off. I know. I'm
Yeah.
going to be required to get home real soon.
Yeah, super, super cool.
You know, what's the ride service that all the old guys take? It's like a van, and I get to roll into it and
Yeah.
stuff. It's got a little elevator.
Yeah. What's that?
Hey.
Comtrans. Comtrans? Yeah. Comtrans is here. Justin, you're leaving.
Hey, I got one. This one's for you, Stevie. Stevie.
Yeah.
I hear Tesla just came out with the UTV.
Is that really?
Did you hear it? Yeah. No. Tesla just came out with the UTV.
Yeah.
It's gonna drive itself, and we're gonna get one for Justin so we could start finishing races.
Oh, there it is. So I'm pretty sure that one came from someone other than that's sitting right here. It was sent to Chase on his phone. So I'm going to actually fire Chase for that actual question, and not the person that came up with it.
Hey,
there you go.
It's okay. I think we're gonna have a nice career ahead of us.
Yeah, no, I would trust me. I would rather hang myself than not finish races.
2021, here we come. Shots fired.
Hey, Steve, what's your favorite Pokemon character?
Wow. Pokemon. That brings me back to my childhood.
What was that, yesterday?
Yeah, Charizard, I guess. I don't know. What are you in Pogs?
Yeah.
What are you, Pogs, old man?
You look really, really good today. How long have you been out of diapers?
Well, clearly I'm still in them, Justin. Depends.
Whoa! All right, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm about out of questions for Steve, and we purposely decided we weren't going to talk too much shit to each other. Sorry for cussing. I rarely do that on these speeds, but it's fun.
We got one more live one. 710, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Where are you at? What
I'm up
are you
in British
driving? What's your
Columbia,
question?
My question was, what's your opinion on the 2021 Can-Am, and how are you going to compete with the shocks if you have to at all?
Okay, so I think the car is great. I don't think that they have very much for chassis upgrades compared to the previous year. I think that the majority of upgrades are going to be in electronics, on not only the smart shocks, but other things. Obviously colors. So when it comes to smart shocks, we're excited. Love the idea. Have known about it for some time. We have a lot of work put into that system behind the scenes. So once the new units are available and in your hands, within 2 or 3 months, you're going to see some really amazing stuff from us. And I don't mean just internal mods and spring kit. We're going to have a ton of other stuff in the electronic area and tunable things. I have to leave it at that because I really can't.
Yeah.
We talked about it at lunch today. It's kind of amazing.
It's going to be cool.
We've actually been working on that system for over a year. Just a heads up.
Right on. Cool. Thanks for your time, guys.
You got a man. Have a good one. Shirt, t-shirt, size, color, and we'll try and remind Chase when he forgets.
Right on, boys. Thanks.
All right, man.
Steven,
can we wrap this up?
Your mom's
Matlock's going to be coming on, so we
no, actually, Murder She Wrote.
Murder She Wrote. Sorry.
Yeah, I got that recorded.
Okay.
The DVRs. That's amazing.
I got one more from Steve-O. Hashtag buy Chase.
Bye, Chase. Bye-bye. Okay, let's make this bye-bye for all of us. Steve, do me a favor, walk ahead of me. I don't want to get poked. Okay. Hey, you guys, thanks a lot for tuning in to Throw It Out There Thursday. It is 4th of July. We hope that you have great plans for this weekend. Hopefully it's badass. Oh, wait. That's cute. Actually got that.
Steve, we did have people want to know, when are Tube Socks coming?
I'm in development right now. I'm hoping probably a month or so.
All right.
Maybe longer.
It's hard to overcome
right
the
now.
visual right now. It really is. But if you guys have questions about our products, give us a call, 623-217-4959. Steve, take us away with website and purchasing options.
Go to www.shocktherapist.com.
Thanks, guys. Good weekend.